Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is the Angels and Politics broadcast, and of course, um, I'm just out here. I'm out here, and I'm glad to be speaking with you today on this wonderful occasion. How are you living? First and foremost, have you had your dinner? Have you had your breakfast? That's quite a big jump, right? You might say, like, what happened to your lunch? But, like, if you haven't had breakfast or if you're on your way to dinner, you may not be in the best. You might not be in the best position right now physically, or maybe so. Maybe you're on the fast, and I'm excited for you if you are. If you're not, I'm even more excited for you because I want you to enjoy your meal. Um, please be satiated. Please satisfy yourself. Fulfill your body with food that is conducive to not only your spirit, your soul, but to the community as a whole. Um, so boom, I'm actually gonna be having dinner soon, and we got some friends of the family that are pulling up in a bit. So I'm just out here. It's actually drizzling right now, and I wanted to do this video whilst I'm standing underneath the trees because I like to be, at one with nature and align myself with the universal laws of nature. And I speak often about, the fire of desire that I would like to arouse within individuals, or the fire personality, the fire traits. That burning passion is another way to describe, or that to me typifies the fire. The flame is intrinsic. But the water is very calming. The water to me is external. The water, I do relate that to the divine feminine with the moon energy and the loon feminine. But um, to be at one with the earth, the trees, um, being in sync or synchronicity with the air, and how just the wind can permeate every fabric of your being. I'm interested in that type of shit, and just being attuned to nature. So boom, that's where I'm at with it right now. So a lot. I don't want to package. I don't want to unpackage a lot right now, but I guess I do have a few things to talk about. For one, Dreamer's Manifesto. Like, I wrote that in 2013. And when I say I wrote it, it wasn't like a legitimate manifesto. It was kind of like the precursor. It was kind of like the introduction to where my life was going to take me as far as the future trajectory of the coming and goings of my daily interactions, and how I saw myself. It wasn't a strategic plan. It wasn't necessarily something that was drawn out to the T. I would say it was really like a loose outline slash projection slash stream of consciousness uh, document, something similar to what Tom Cruise did in Jerry Maguire when he felt compelled to resign from that company. Um, I wasn't resigning from any company, but I was resigning from a certain thought pattern or way of thinking, a certain, constricted or confined mindset that I found from people who might say, like, Gabe, you're not being realistic. So I kind of wanted to, like, not necessarily just stray away from realism, but take pride and fully take ownership and embrace the unconventional, non-conventional, non-traditional, uh, creative, unpredictable, carve your own journey type of path, right? So that's kind of how that started for me. And my big move was for me to come from New York City. Well, come from Virginia to move to New York City without knowing anybody other than, like, a handful of individuals, like a small percentage of, people. But, like, literally just getting my life started and doing that thing. But now I am, like, really going to use my platform to just really, like, express what my dreams were. And when I say dreams, I don't mean like, oh, like what I want to do in the future. I guess that could be it too, but more so like my legitimate like dreams. Like I have a dream journal, or I have a shit ton of them. So when did I start writing down my dreams? Pretty much maybe in Thailand, maybe. I don't know if I was writing them down. I don't know if I was writing them down in New York. Maybe I was doing that a little bit. I know I was doing a lot of writing as far as like my notes and things that I saw and books that I read and flows and vignettes, but I don't think the dream journaling came about until 2015, maybe. Definitely when I moved back from Asia, for sure. That's when the dreams started becoming a bit more pronounced. So, yeah, almost like 5 years now, a little over 5 years. Um, so that's going to be coming. So that'll be exciting. I do promote that, writing down your dreams. Another thing is, I guess, to piggyback off of the dream concept, or to double tap on that um, concept, is I'm in this fellowship right now to become a sales development representative or business development representative, which is another way to say I'm a salesperson for software, selling software as a service. Um, but it's kind of conflicting, because I'm all about personal development. I mean, that's what Angels in Politics is about. Is like, you know, igniting that spark that's within you, so you can arouse those fires of desire, those passions, that volcanic eruption, uh, which could be congruent to a Kundalini awakening. But you're gonna have some type of outer body, inner body, intrinsic, supernatural awakening, in a sense that, like, no, I can't really like sign off with this. I can't really do something that's not in alignment with my purpose, right? With my goals, with how I truly feel. Like, this is me, and I want to make sure that my life is meaningful. I want to make sure that my relationships are meaningful. I want to make sure that I leave uh, an impact on this universe based on me providing my selfless service, my service to the globe. And yeah. That's kind of like, that's my shit. But at the end of the day, I feel conflicted because even though I'm about this personal development, I'm aware that in order for me to grow, you're going to do some things that may not necessarily be within my strategic path or outline or plan. I'm not the biggest strategic planner, or I mean, I might be a thinker for sure, but like as far as my personal ways of operating, I my MO is really like allow God to use me as a vessel. And I wake up every morning and I take one day at a time. I mean, I'm not super like, by next year I need to be doing this, in 5 years I should be, you know XYZ. Like, no. Like, I can't tell you what I'm doing next week. You know what I'm saying? Like, and for some people it's like, wow, I can't imagine that. But for me, like, this is how I move. So yeah, like, I'm aware that this type of this environment is good for me, because I wouldn't have I wouldn't have searched for this. I wouldn't have looked for this. I wouldn't have, turned over the stones to put me in a sales development representative role. Um, I felt like it found me, and it actually did. It came to me. I was scrolling through my timeline and it's there, and then I'm clicking on a few buttons, and next I'm halfway through the application process, and then next I'm getting a phone call. So it's like, I feel like there is not only is there a reason, there's 1,000% a reason why I'm doing this. I think my biggest thing now is for me to fully understand and to be open to receiving that that purpose, and like extracting the the fundamentals, the information, the knowledge, the competencies, the whatever it is from the curriculum, whether it's from not only the curriculum but the advisors, the staff, my cohort group, my colleagues, the other fellows. Like, life is about relationships, so networking, a whole like a whole slew of things could be the reason why I'm in this program, but I am finding it difficult to fully sign on to put myself in an environment in which I truly am not that passionate about, or something that's like I really kind of don't really want to do, you know? And it's like for a long time, it's not that I have been doing things that I didn't want to do, because in all actuality, like I didn't want to work for the YMCA when I applied. Actually, low key, I thought it was gonna be a decent like part-time gig just to get myself like some income, you know, and it wasn't much income, but like, you know, just to get me out the house. And I ended up there for like 2 years, you know, I ended up there for 2 years, and I didn't make a lot of money, but what I got out of that experience um, was more than what you can speak to as far as a financial, you know, metric, or it was I got what I received from that was more than what you can put into words. You know, I mean, and I would say it was I received connections. I received growth. I learned a lot about myself, the people who I met, the networking capabilities or abilities that were cultivated and that I got from that propelled me to, you know, the next phase of my life. And at the time, I was doing a lot of I was doing a lot of shadow work at that time. I was definitely in the darkness for a while. At that time, that was the beginning of my Kundalini awakening. So I felt lost working there. But now here it is a few years later. I'm like, I love that job. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to go back. But like, I definitely love the fact that I was there, hindsight, because it wasn't about the money. It was really about like me being worked on, and I was working on myself, and not in a direct way like God was working on me, but that way the universe was working on me, and he put me in that position specifically for me to meet those people who changed my life, for me to talk to those people. And there was people who gave me books to read, and people who inspired me to get my real estate license, and people, you know, just the whole thing. Like it just flowed. I took my first yoga classes there, and now look at me. I'm doing, well, I'm not a yoga guru, but I'm into my whole like a yoga thing. So it's like, you know, it really brought me everything that I wanted without me like knowing it. So yeah, it's a bit complex and convoluted, because it's like, damn, like I'm at this position where it's like I don't know if this is my dream. My dreams are low key turned up, but my dreams have me in these different places where I feel like I'm supposed to be speaking in schools, or I'm supposed to be interfacing with adults, or people, teenagers, or whatever the case may be. I'm supposed to be talking with people about their growth, their development, what inspires them, what their passions are, relationships, how they interface with relationships is a direct correlation to how they view themselves and how they feel about themselves, and that goes into self-confidence and self-esteem, and what is your esteem and confidence predicated upon. So that's your value systems, and that's your whole system of synthesis, system of synchronicity, your system of sequence. What are you doing on a regular basis? That shapes your view of the world. Your perspective becomes your reality. As a man or woman thinketh, therefore he or she is. So it's like, who are you will be directly contingent upon how you see yourself and how you view yourself, and what your principles are, what doctrines you live by, what principles you live by, all these types of things. So like, I feel like that's my shit. Like that's what I'm supposed to be doing, and I don't know. You know, like I don't know. Like this process was supposed to be a month, and now it's 10 weeks, and it was supposed to be you're gonna get this job and make this money, and now it's like, oh, you're gonna get this job, but like they're gonna be deducting your salary to pay back like the shit they taught you. So it's like there's a whole lot of things where it's like I don't even want to. I didn't really want to do this in the first place. You know, I'm glad about the growth. I want to go to San Francisco. I want to go to California. I want to continue. Like, I want to get out of the house. You know, I wanna leave from my house. I mean, but I'm not too keen on like putting myself in a position to work a job in which I truthfully know that this isn't what I wake up feeling like I want to do. And I feel like that's being an adult, right? There's a lot of people who work every day, and they're not waking up saying, oh my gosh, I was put on this earth to be, you know, at the post office or some shit. Like I was, you know, God, you know, created me in his own image, and I'm, a masterpiece because I'm the piece of the master who has, blessed me with life and given me, whatever, all of these skills and capabilities for me to work at the front desk of, your local FedEx. And you might not think that way, but it's like, they're still doing these things because it's like, hey, this is a part of my journey for me to get to where I need to get to. This is my stepping stone. This is like that job that I just mentioned could be like your version of like me working at the front desk at the YMCA. I felt like, yo, like, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? And actually, in all actuality, it was. I mean, maybe not all I was supposed to be doing. That was where I was supposed to be at that time. So, is this something that I'm supposed to be doing at that time? Of course, I'm gonna continue and finish up with this process, but am am I supposed to be on the phone calling other fucking like companies to sell some shit that I probably am not that interested in? Like, no. No, I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? Like, should I be like reduced to like interview with this company and make sure you make yourself presentable because they don't want somebody who's not that interested into like the sales development role. Well, I truly am not interested in the sales development role. Like, I do want to learn sales, but it's like I want to sell you on yourself, if that makes sense. I want to sell you on your capabilities. I want to sell you on your exponential growth. I want to sell you on your creativity. I want to sell you on your altruism, your benevolence, your compassion, the way you care, the way you encourage others, the way you empathize with others, the way you sympathize with others, the way you are dedicated and diligent to your divine purpose. I want to sell you on faithfulness. I want to sell you on forgiveness. I want to sell you on humility. I want to sell you on alignment. I want to sell you on your intentions, your definiteness of purpose. That's what I want to sell you on. Namaste. Namaskar.